I married someone I had never met in person, that I had known only in virtual reality.
You can definitely have sex in VR. You feel almost anything in VR, like people touching you.
Sexual harassment in virtual reality is unfortunately pretty much as prevalent as sexual harassment outside of virtual reality.
So my partner's name is Aiden, also known as Fuzzy Fusion. How we first met is in virtual reality.
Hey, my name is Jasper. This is my partner.
Hi, I'm Aiden.
He's very camera shy, sadly, so that's one of the reasons why he could make it on today with the in-person interview.
3, 2, 1, smile.
We definitely spend more time in virtual reality with each other rather than, being together in person. VR chat is a socializing game in VR. There's endless possibilities. You can go mini golfing in VR.
It went in the water.
Come on, in you go. Yay!
You can watch movies in VR. You can make coffees in VR. We do kiss, hug in VR. Definitely we do. You develop senses in VR which help you feel like almost anything. I can feel like people touching me.
You're going very in me.
Oh, right. Whoops.
A hug feels very like a natural hug.
Okay, just hug.
Kissing in VR definitely does feel like a natural kiss. Full body tracking, it actually mimics your action movement and it puts into VR. It uses the two base stations here, which tracks the individual movement of these 3 trackers, which enables me to have full body tracking and full immersion in VR. I just made an expression shot, I think. You can definitely have like sex in VR if you got the right equipment. Me and Aiden, we never really try it.
When I met him in VR, like, he seemed like really sweet. For me, like, looks don't really matter. It's definitely like personality for me. I'm a ghost. Whoa. I felt a spark and I was like, okay, I believe this might actually work.
The whole relationship has been like the best. We actually met in person as well. Both VR and in person is just for me the same feeling.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
So what attracted me to Aiden is just his like overall ongoing personality. Most people like talk to me for a little bit and just go off and with their life. But for him, he actually stuck around.
The day has been pretty alright so far. How about you?
VR very much helped me with my social anxiety, and it can like block out the world and like whatever has been going on in life. I wouldn't have met Aiden if it wasn't all for VR.
Bye, love you.
Love you too. Alright, bye.
Come on. When I was 18 years old, I married someone I had never met in person, that I had known only through virtual reality in Second Life. Second Life is a program that's quite similar to virtual reality's desktop elements, where people just hang out, talk, watch movies. We did dedicate 90% of our time to one another. I'd be working, but I would always have to have a window of VR chat or Second Life open, seeing that he was there. That would legitimately go on for 7 days straight, night and day, fall asleep in virtual reality. The topic of marriage came up very suddenly. He initiated it, I believe, 2 weeks after we started talking. As a short-sighted 18-year-old, I was ecstatic initially. Part of me just went, oh, this is logical. If I spent all my time with him, surely I know the person I'm talking to, even if they're not physically in the same room as me. I was in Melbourne, Australia. He was all the way in the United Kingdom, so I thought, right, I guess I'm moving to the UK, and I guess I'm getting married. My entire life revolved around this man. It was my job to walk several kilometers to get him his groceries, sort out the money, to cook, clean. I was, for all intents and purposes, a housewife and a carer. The council flat was not the best living conditions. The sheet on the floor that I slept on eventually became a big health issue, which I found out by waking up in the morning coughing up blood several times, and it turns out the entire mattress was black with black mold. There were holes in the walls, and in winter snow came in. I had no money of my own. The catalyst for me leaving that situation was a very dear friend of mine. He said, whatever's going on over there isn't right, and I broke down. And within a week, had decided I had to get home to Australia. 2.5 years is the amount of time I spent over there. The relationship fell apart as I left, and we separated.
Romantic relationships have occurred in online spaces for as long as they've been online spaces, really. I expect that once the technology becomes a little bit cheaper, there will be more instances of romantic relationships in virtual reality. Online romantic relationships can be really beneficial to certain groups of people. So particularly if someone is socially anxious or geographically isolated, or is coming to terms with something like sexual identity or gender identity. One of the really big issues around dating in VR is privacy. If you spend 20 minutes in a VR headset, the headset collects roughly 2 million unique points of data about your body language, and that amount of data can tell you really specific things about yourself: sexual orientation, gender identity, age, mental state. So in a romantic relationship context, someone might not be aware that they're giving that data away. With something like Meta's history around privacy and privacy violations, I think that's something to be really concerned about, what they're going to do with that data going forward.
This is something that we're really going to focus on. Privacy and safety need to be built into the metaverse from day one.
Sexual harassment in virtual reality is unfortunately pretty much as prevalent as sexual harassment outside of virtual reality. There was a case just last year with Meta's Horizon Worlds where a researcher was sexually assaulted while she was in one of the metaverse spaces. Big companies definitely should be doing more to moderate spaces, but on top of that, I don't think we can trust tech companies to moderate their own content. I think there also needs to be government laws that protect users in virtual spaces.
Sexual harassment is something I've experienced quite a lot in VR chat specifically. It is quite uncomfortable, especially if there's someone you don't know that just touches you in a way that would get them arrested in the real world. My advice to people who are intending on starting a relationship with someone that they've initially met through virtual reality: if it feels or seems too good to be true, it very likely is.